and welcome to another Tuesdays at 2. Today we're going to talk about something that is becoming more and more cherished by all as we have been hunkering down during this pandemic and are preparing to do so even more during these colder months. We're going to talk about dining tables. More specifically, we're going to talk about creating a beautiful dinner setting for the upcoming holidays. Whether you're staying in with just your household, gathering with a little bit of family, or even just not doing anything and just wanting to plan for next year. We hope that you get some inspiration today from these tablescape ideas. There are thousands of ways you can take a tablescape, so don't feel worried about getting it right because generally there's not really just one way to do it, which is the fun part about it. We'll start with a couple of things though that you do need to keep in mind when you're making your setup. So the first is spacing. How many people fit comfortably around your table? Are you going to have to get a bit cozy for your gathering for everybody to fit, or will you have some extra space? Knowing this ahead of time will help you decide what kind of centerpiece to utilize. If you have extra room, you can add a few more layers with place settings and centerpieces because you don't have to squeeze so much. If you are squeezing a bit more, you know you need to go a little bit more minimal and smaller on the centerpieces. In terms of actual mealtime, you also need to think about, are you going to have all of the food available during the meal on the table, or is it going to be in a separate room or maybe on a buffet table to the side? Again, this just helps you to know how much you can put on the table so that you don't have to move everything out of the way when it comes time to eat. Also keep in mind that you don't want to block people from each other. So centerpieces are fun, but you don't want to necessarily have a huge thing in the middle so that people can't see each other from across the table. You can definitely still use taller items, but maybe keep it to thinner things like candlesticks. Things do not have to match, but you do want them to coordinate. So picking a color scheme is going to really be your kind of go-to and help everything come together. Once you know your spacing, how your meal is going to go, and your colors, then you can get to the fun stuff with decor. And so we're just going to look at a few different design styles and their tablescapes, but again, there is no just one way to do this, so just keep it as inspiration. First, we're going to talk about a minimal tablescape. So minimal is great if you have a table that is just already really beautiful on its own, maybe a live edge, or maybe you have one of the resin river tables and you don't really want to block it with your tablescape. This is a great place for just letting your table do the decor for you, and so just keeping it really minimal in terms of your dishes, and any accents in the middle are small. You can even think about using all glass dining plates so that you can kind of see through them and add to the table being the star of the show. You can bring the outdoors in with a more rustic tablescape. This is going to involve some natural elements like greenery and maybe even some wood slabs as chargers, and it's going to be a more neutral color scheme, but you can of course add pops of color or even just things like black and gold to sort of up the chic factor. You can also of course go seasonal or more holiday specific for your tablescape. And the great thing about a seasonal table is you can keep it really simple or you can go all the way. Starting with the colors that match the holiday you're celebrating and then taking that into the textiles and decor. And then you can even decide if you want your dinnerware to match the season as well. So something like if you plan on hosting every year for Christmas, it might be worth investing in a set of dishes that have Christmas elements to them because you're going to be using them a lot. Traditional is another way to go, and for a traditional table, you definitely are probably going to use a runner or some garlands throughout the middle. That's very traditional in setting. And you're also going to be using full sets of dishes. So that's all the extra forks and all the extra different types of goblets for water and wine and things like that. And then having placemats or chargers and fabric dinner napkins. This is still going to be a place where the simple color schemes reign supreme. Nothing going like too over the top. And of course you can go all out glam if you want more of a Gatsby-esque tablescape. You can opt for moody colors, metallic accents, and definitely kind of layer. That's going to be what really takes it to that glam phase. You can add things like florals and stuff like that, but the key here is just having a lot of extra pizzazz and wow on your table. Tablescapes are really fun to put together because they can be different every single time you do them, and they can easily be tweaked to fit the celebration or the amount of people you have and changed every time. We hope you got some inspiration today, and however you're celebrating the holidays this season, we hope you have fun with your tablescape.